Part 6 here for the TLC predictions. We talked about Divas title, we talked about extra matches and stuff, and we're in the set of matches where we know they're going to happen. We just don't know exactly who is going to win those matches. But I got a feeling when it comes to the Tag Team Championship Triple Threat Ladder match, this is going to be the New Day retaining here. And it's not just because I'm a big New Day fan. Something I wanted to add into our little mix here. I was going to actually potentially make it a hot tag, but I decided it's better to talk about in this one. Apparently, the merchandise sales for the New Day are, like, phenomenal. The little horn headband things they had sold out in, like, 5 minutes.
Wow.
And they're, like, they don't have enough to, like, just, like, put them on the WWE shop, so they're just bringing them to, like, live events for people to buy and stuff, and they're going to have that.
Those got to be cumbersome to make. I mean, it's a custom-made thing you got to get.
Yeah, and it's not, like, a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or, like... You know, even the action figures or something like that, like a lot goes into that, but then once you do it, it's just mass production and stuff like that is an odd kind of item. And I never would have thought that would have been selling out like that, but people are buying it. So New Day really are just like banging on all cylinders right now, and I just can't imagine that WWE would take the titles away from them.
I never thought they should have taken them off them in the first place. That whole thing was a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they get to boast that they're 2-time champs now. That's cool.
And what did the primetime players do with them?
I forgot that was even where they went to.
Yeah. Totally forgettable. They held it for like one pay-per-view, I think. And then WWE was like, shit, what are we doing? But Lucha Dragons and the Usos are the two teams that are going to be challenging for those titles. It's going to be a ladder match, so... There is a possibility in a ladder match for the champion to lose and not look weak. But then again, the New Day isn't really about looking strong. So I'm thinking right here, the X Factor is Xavier Woods.
His name starts with an X.
I can see that. He has been in X Division matches.
That is true. But I think that we could see here that he's climbing the ladder and he's bringing the title down. I think they could kind of play into that idea that it's the Freebird rule and the three of them are champions, so maybe it's like, well, even though he's not technically like one of the two people, possibly, I mean, he could be, but more than likely he's not going to be one of the two people wrestling, but maybe they can play into that and just kind of be like, well, he's sort of a champion and it's no DQ. Maybe he brings the titles down. You know?
What if he went up and grabbed the titles, but before he's able to get them down to the ground, like the Usos grab them, or like an Uso and a Lucha Dragon grabs each title, and they fall to the ground. And then we have like a whole freaking mess on our hands. Because Xavier Woods shouldn't count because he wasn't even in the match. And he didn't get to the ground with the titles, which is an obscure rule that they use or don't use depending on what mood they're in. And it ended up going a title to each person.
Thus deforming the unified tag belts into 2 belts back again.
Oh, fuck.
Well, shit, you were talking about you want to see them get rid of that Divas belt. They need to get rid of this tag title and rechange that into a new one. Maybe that would give them incentive to change it.
I used to like the old school Raw tag title belts. Those were really nice. Those were better than the SmackDown ones.
I don't remember correctly if it's WCW or not, but I think it was WCW that had really cool tag titles.
They were kind of plain.
I sort of like plain. Their US title was great. Basically looked like the Intercontinental. That was awesome. But I'd be interested in that kind of an out. Like, maybe if they had that, where it's like one Uso, one Lucha Dragon, and Xavier Woods technically brought them down, maybe they could use that as an excuse to be like, well, the New Day didn't win the match, but they didn't lose it. And sort of like, I don't know, just do some kind of like a triple threat match, like a pinfall only thing at Royal Rumble. I'd be cool with that. If they do have New Day lose the belts, though, what would you guys rather see? Usos as champs or Lucha Dragons?
Lucha Dragons.
Yeah, definitely Lucha Dragons.
I'm fed up with the Usos already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just anti-Usos, not pro-Lucha?
I'll tell you why they would do Usos, though, is because they're in this whole thing with Roman Reigns right now, and it makes the group look strong. By proxy, makes Roman Reigns look strong.
unless he wins the title. Then he doesn't need it.
No, it would still back him up because then the family there will have titles. The Usos can win the tag, and Dean Ambrose can win the Intercontinental.
That would be a sad, sad day in wrestling.
Sad, sad day. Not like, when people are injured or retire or anything. Just when Roman and the Usos win.
Just like he did in the Royal Rumble. It was a sad, sad day.
Well, if the Usos or the Lucha Dragons win, other than the New Day, the only heels that we really have are the League of Nations and the Wyatt family.
I would love to see the Wyatts feud with the New Day. That'd be amazing.
So we could see the Usos against, I would assume, probably Rusev and Barrett more than the Wyatt family, because really the Usos going to be good enough to fight the Wyatt family on their own. We're going to be heading into WrestleMania season, so these tag titles aren't going to get prime focal points, but they are still going to be featured. That's why I think that New Day has to stick around.
Sure. I don't know how much further we're going to stretch out of this. This is most likely just a simple step for the New Day, holding them all the way to WrestleMania. I don't expect anything surprising here.
So you're going full on New Day just retains?
More than likely. I would love if they did that whole schmaz thing I said before, or at least shook it up somehow. But shaking it up hasn't been their MO lately, so I don't expect it.
Sean, do you think New Day's retaining?
My heart says New Day, but my gut is saying Lucha Dragons, so I'm going to go with my gut because my gut is bigger than my heart. So, on that theory, I'm going to go with the Lucha Dragons. And about those unicorn horn things, it's all fun and games until the neighbor next door to you gets his eye poked up with it.
Depends. If your neighbor's a real dick, then he deserves it. Just keep that in mind, everybody. Leave your comments below. Tell us what you think's happening. Are New Day going to retain, or is it going to be the Usos or the Lucha Dragons? And what would you prefer? And if they do have a title change, what do you think the next step in the division is going to be? We got to build up towards WrestleMania. So, do we get something like the Usos against the Wyatt family at Mania, or do we get something else? Any suggestions?
S-A-W-F.
Yeah, they're not getting brought up to the roster yet. That ain't happening. But nonetheless, leave those comments below. We're going to continue on here in part 7. So stay tuned, everybody. U.S. title chairs match coming up next.